All right, let's talk about something that sounds complicated but is actually super important. IR, BC, and DR. I know, it's a total alphabet soup, right? But these aren't just fancy terms for the tech folks. Nope. These are literally the survival plans that keep a business running when things go sideways. And you've got to know the difference. So let's dive in and break it all down.
So let's just imagine for a second. It's a totally normal day, business as usual, and then, bam, it happens. Could be a cyber attack, maybe a natural disaster, or even just a critical piece of hardware failing. What's the very first thing you do?
Suddenly, everything just stops. The whole operation grinds to a halt. Your people can't work. Your customers have no idea what's going on, and the heart of your business is just offline.
And oh, it gets so much worse. We're talking about confidential info, customer lists, all your intellectual property, all of it is suddenly vulnerable. The clock is ticking, and believe me, the stakes could not be higher.
In moments like these, panic is your worst enemy. A solid plan is your only friend. Seriously, having a clear, tested strategy is the one thing that separates a minor hiccup from a full-blown business-ending catastrophe. So let's get into that strategy. So your very first line of defense is what we call incident response, or IR for short. This is the plan that kicks into gear the second something goes wrong. It's all about immediate, decisive action.
You know, this firefighter analogy, it's absolutely perfect. The IR team's job isn't to start rebuilding the house right away. Their one and only goal is to stop the fire before it burns the whole place down. They are the first responders on the scene, pure and simple. So at its heart, IR is all about damage control. The official goal is to, mitigate violations, which is just a formal way of saying, find the problem, stop it from getting any bigger, and contain the fallout. This is your tactical, boots-on-the-ground defense. Now, you might think incident response is just pure chaos, but it's actually the opposite. It is a super structured four-step process. First, you've got preparation. That's all the work you do before anything bad happens. Then, something does happen, and you're in detection and analysis, basically figuring out what's going on. The really crucial part is next, containment, eradication, and recovery. That's where you stop the bleeding and start to fix things. And finally, you wrap it all up with post-incident activity. This is key, because it's where you learn from what happened so it doesn't happen again. And to move that fast, everyone on the team has to be speaking the same language. So let's do a quick lightning round of a few key terms that the IR team lives and breathes every single day. First up, a breach. This is the big one. This means your sensitive data has been seen or taken by someone who absolutely should not have access to it. It's not just a system glitch, it's a major security failure. So, how do these breaches usually happen? Well, often it's through something called an exploit. Think of this as the specific tool or method an attacker uses to wiggle through a crack in your defenses, some kind of known weakness or vulnerability. Okay, now this is the stuff of nightmares. A zero-day is a flaw that nobody knows about. Not you, not your security team, not even the people who made the software. Attackers can use it without any fear of being caught because, well, no defense for it even exists yet. This is what keeps security pros up at night, for sure. Okay, so the firefighters are busy battling the blaze. But while all that is going on, how does the rest of the company keep the lights on? Well, that's where our second plan comes in, business continuity, or BC. I just love this analogy. BC isn't about fighting the fire, it's about treating the patient. It's the playbook you follow to make sure your most critical business operations can keep running during the emergency. It's all about keeping a pulse. Now, the key difference here is that BC is all about the business process. While the IR team is busy isolating a hacked server, the BC plan is answering questions like, okay, how do our salespeople keep taking orders? Or how do we make sure everyone still gets paid? It's about keeping the business alive, even if you're running on a generator. And a good BC plan is an incredibly detailed playbook. It's designed to cut through the chaos. It lays out exactly who needs to be called, what steps to take, and how to communicate with everybody from your own employees to your most critical partners. It's really the step-by-step operational guide for getting through the storm. All right, so the incident is contained, and you've managed to keep the most important parts of the business running. So now what? Well, now begins the long road back to normal. And this is the job of disaster recovery, or DR. This brings us to the last member of our emergency crew. If IR has the firefighters and BC has the medics, then DR is the reconstruction crew. These are the folks with the blueprints and the heavy machinery ready to rebuild everything and get it back to exactly how it was before the fire.
If you look at the official definition, it's pretty clear. DR kicks in when a disaster is so bad that it completely knocks out critical business functions. This isn't about finding a workaround, it's about fixing the core problem and getting back to 100% normal operations.
And let me tell you, the DR plan is a comprehensive beast. It has to be. It's got the high-level summaries for the executives, sure, but it also has the super detailed technical manuals for the IT team, who are literally restoring servers and rebuilding networks from the ground up. This is the master blueprint for getting back to business as usual. So, there you have it, 3 plans: incident response, business continuity, and disaster recovery. They might sound kind of similar, but as you've seen, they are totally distinct, they happen in a sequence, and they are all equally important. Let's put it all together one last time. Okay, this chart right here, this is the perfect summary of everything we've talked about. Look, incident response is immediate. It's the firefighters kicking down the door. Business continuity, that's what you do during the chaos, the field medics keeping things stable. And then disaster recovery, that's for after the dust settles. They're the reconstruction crew. See? Each one has its own job, its own timeline, and its own team. It's not one big plan, it's 3 distinct, vital parts of one whole strategy. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. These are not 3 options you get to pick from. They are 3 essential chapters in your organization's survival guide. You absolutely need all 3 working together to be truly resilient. Because here's the hard truth. When a crisis finally hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on your training and your planning. So the real question isn't if you'll ever need a playbook, but whether yours will be ready when you do.